Ooh, it's Christmas, so time to get out the Christmas overlays. No Christmas demos though, as today, as is sort of usual at this channel, I want to tell you about something I added to my collection. If you are among the 100 or so people who frequent my channel, you might have seen my video on the 8-inch floppies I got. Floppies produced to be used with the Philips P5000 line of word processor / computer type systems. The discs, judging by the labels, probably went to a P5003 or P5002. In the video I showed these, I also showed images from the James Bond movie For Your Eyes Only. In that movie, multiple Philips P5000 systems are featured. Awesome to see 1980s facial sketching. Right. Also in the movie we see a terminal and another what looks like a punch card processing computer. Well, sometime after the video aired, I received an email via the contact page of my website saying that the person was contacting me to inform me the Home Computer Museum were getting rid of a Philips P5000, with a link to Instagram included. Well, of course, I clicked, seeing a lovely P5000 ready to find a new home. If you look closely, very keen-eyed people will already see something missing. Well, fast forward a couple of friendly emails and an offer, and I found myself in Helmond, where the Home Computer Museum is based. There it is, ready to be taken. Of course, a visit to a nice place like this asks for a quick peruse, mainly at the store part, and these lovely computers. I put the terminal on the back seat of the car and the computer part snugly in the trunk, of course with some help of a very kind museum employee. Then I drove home. And that is where this pickup was special, as this marked the first time of me doing a pickup myself, as I passed my driving tests about a month ago. So after a 2-hour journey home, it was time to unload. This time without someone to help me. I have to say this thing looks like it's straight from a Star Trek movie. Or James Bond. I put it on a little dolly and moved it to the shed. So here it is in a little bit more detail. I thought this panel would be a door, but it appears to be more of a cover. It has these 2 buttons, probably an on-off and reset switch. I really wanted to get behind the panel because from the side I couldn't really tell what was behind it. Let's get back to that in a second. The other side of the computer was still closed. The panel hadn't come off. When I tried a screwdriver it wouldn't even budge. Trying with another screwdriver. So that brings the total to 2 panels I'm having trouble with to get behind. Well, after I would say half an hour of fiddling, I managed to get the front cover off, to what in some ways might be a slight disappointment, as this computer doesn't have 2 8-inch floppy drives. No, this one has 2 5¼ disk drives. Something not disappointing is that they have an interesting design. These are the first drives in my collection with the door type release mechanism. They appear to be quite standard type floppy drives, nothing proprietary here. And to my surprise they are Philips branded drives. Then I discovered something else hidden in the computer. This little thingamajig. I expected it was part of the case, but it is a loose device. Turns out this is a handheld control panel. I wonder if this will connect to my Philips service processor. Oh. After some prying I managed to get the panel off, to my own excitement. And to be honest, just like removing the other panel, this computer is one surprise after the other. We find a rather small bay filled with PCBs. Not what I expected. Also turns out that the very kind person informing me about this P5000 is also an owner of a P5000 system, and after sending some pictures he told me that it looks very different from his. Whoa, this is like a crossbreed between a hedgehog and a PCB. Dangerous. This is one big ribbon cable. Doesn't really look like the design you would find in a professionally produced computer. Whoa, look at this ginormous fan. It's not connected, probably because it's very noisy. This computer is a real grab bag of surprises. Every time I dig into it, I find something new. Parallel cable. A lot of the cables are disconnected. To take a closer look at the system, I wanted to take out the various cards and have a look. These cards look very interesting. Sort of reminds me of the VME bus by Philips. I have one of those computers in storage somewhere. The clips make it quite easy to remove a card from the case. This one only has one connector. A bunch of pin connectors on this one. these boards were quite close together, so I need to be a bit careful taking them out. Let's remove this cable and this one. This is clearly something for prototyping. This cable probably went to the handheld controller. Fast forwarding a couple cards, this one was connected to the 2 disk drives in a very interesting way. It gives us also an opportunity to take a closer look at the backplane. Interesting, it's single connectors, as one of the boards clearly had 2 on it. A quick mark so I know how it will go back together. By the way, this thing has 1 beefy power supply. Okay, here are the cards. This is a moment for me to give a quick reminder that I'm very much a retro amateur and that the following will be amateur assumptions to what these lovely PCBs might be for. Do you think I'm wrong or suspect it might be used for something else? Feel free to reach out in the comment section. As a matter of fact, I hope some people will come with their own speculations. This one is quite populated and appears to have 3 ROMs on them. Doing a little bit of research on the chips and discussing it with some algorithms, this might be something related to serial/RS-232 communication. Although I also think this could be the brains of the computer, as I cannot find anything on the 5 chips starting with the ceramic one. They all say 0Q6682, except from the ceramic one that says 0Q8685. The 4 also say 7923, which I would say is a date code. This is the hedgehog board with a lot of sockets and some of them populated. A lot of SN74LS stuff. I'm really not sure what this could be for. Research would suggest single processing. These legs remain incredible, like a map of a metro system. For this PCB, my guess would be something related to the disk drives. It has another connector on the side. This chip looks interesting. For this board, my and I hope also your guess would be that it's RAM related. Sadly, some of the RAM appears to be damaged. I'm pretty sure this is not damage done by me. Counting the chips would make me suspect it has 64K of RAM, although a label on it states 32K. This PCB is likely, and then I mean assumed by an amateur likely, a data processing or control board, equipped with components for buffering, memory handling and logic operations. Some botch wires. Then moving on to the terminal, which of course is prominently featured in the James Bond movie. This will be a project on itself, as like everything, nothing is standard. More on that later. That brings me to the slowest website available on the World Wide Web, mine. I dedicated a special page to my P5000 as I want to gather more information on it and on the line in general, as the person responsible for the Philips archive definitely was too busy with something else than archiving. I forgot to mention 2 things on the page on my website. One, that it has photos of all the cards in the computer with a little bit more detailed information, all guessing of course. Also, you can find the handheld control panel there. Also, there's this contact option that in case you have some information on the P5000, doesn't matter how small or big it is, you can send it in here. Please do. I would be lying to say that it's not going to be very challenging to get this system even close to powering up. A big limiting factor is that it appears to be a one of a kind. Also, someone had the intention of making it difficult to be turned on again, as the cables on the back were brutally cut away. I thought a good starting point would be to try to archive the ROMs, encountering the first roadblock, as the ICs are Intel i3636, which are not compatible with the T48 by X-Geku I own. Tips on how to dump these ROMs are therefore very welcome. When opening the floppy drives, I found something that I really love, floppy disks. Also, these need to be digitized, of course, but all that is for future endeavors. That brings me to the end of this video on my new and quirky P5000. Also, this is probably the last video of 2024, the year I passed 1,000 subscribers to my own amusement. I don't really talk about subscribers normally, but to all those that are, thank you so much. It's much appreciated as you watching this video. I hope all of you have pleasant days and a nice 2025.